Good morning, guys. Good to see you. Right, let me just get my chat box up, and then we can get amongst it. Come on, first time. Woohoo! Chat box is up straight away, first time.
Good morning, Pete.
Good morning, Dan. How are you doing, mate?
Not too bad. Took a while to respond there because everything was on my desktop. Discord wasn't open or anything, but I could hear you setting things up in the background.
I've hacked
I'm just like, well, what's going on?
I've hacked you.
This is all that talk yesterday, isn't it?
I've hacked it. If you are watching on YouTube, guys, let us know if I'm too loud, because fiddling about with them with the mic. I want to try and get the right settings where the tunes can get on as well. How are you doing? Did you catch that second trade yesterday?
I did. It did not turn out well for me
Really? Why?
because I was out
Ah,
walking the dog, and you messaged saying like this one in the group as well called it
yeah.
in the live trade. So by the time I got home, I'd missed that first opportunity to get out.
Right, yeah, because it
Well,
did push down from there, didn't it?
that's it. So that's one.
Mm.
The second one is when it did come back up a little bit into a little bit less profit, I didn't move myself to break even for some reason,
Mm.
and then just left it. I didn't move me stop loss or anything. I didn't even have a big enough stop loss.
As long as you know, yeah, yeah, because you would still be in this now. You'd be in profit now. Because where did we have that? Where was that at? It was down in these levels, wasn't it? Wasn't it like here? Can't even remember.
Yeah, I think my stops were.
It was perfect. Our hit.
Yeah, well, that's it exactly. So I was thinking as well, sort of a little bit later on, because by the time I'd come back to it and it hadn't come back up, I'd looked at it and thought, should I move my stops a little bit further down? But then I was no, don't, because then you're just risking more. If it doesn't come back up, you're just risking more. So
yeah, it was yeah, the 15-minute tapped us in, pulled back, closed, and the new 15 just flipped perfectly. It was lovely trade. But anyway, there's plenty more to catch. As long as you know where you went wrong, you just got to keep seeing these trades, like these winning trades, and over time, you'll just see more and more. You'll just start remembering them when you're trading again in the future. Okay, good morning, Chris.
I know exactly, like I said, it's moving to break even. Why I didn't move to break even, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the big one for me. It's just like you're protecting your capital at that point, so you can then just walk away and leave it. And it'll either do what you want to do or it won't.
Yeah, if like you're out and you've got a trade on, I just put my TP at take price move to break even, because I'm not one of these people who can sort of hold trades really. I've got a in and out, so I'll just put, if I can't watch the trade, I will literally just put my TP at take price move to break even, just leave it. So just one for the future. Maybe do that. I know you can get stuff where once TP1 hits, it takes you straight to break even. You need to speak to Vic. She knows all that type of stuff. Good morning, Jonathan. Good morning, Krish. Oh, right, guys, let's get into a top down. See what we can catch today. CPI today, so I don't know whether this morning might be a bit slow. Ready for this afternoon. We will see. So, monthly. Very bullish on the monthly. However, this monthly is pulling back. Now, where can I pull back to? Well, it can pull back to 1989 if it wants to, because that's previous support. Then it can do anything at once. If it taps that area, I'd probably think it was going to close bearish, start coming back down. But what we don't want this candle flipping to the upside, because then we're going into all-time highs, and it's going to be difficult to trade because you haven't got much data to go off at that point. Okay, so our ideal situation is that the monthly closes like that, either this monthly or the next month closes like that. But eventually we get back into this level, because if we can get back below 1989, what that means, the new range on the monthly is down in 1847. This is a lovely range, really nice clean range. Okay, so yes, we are sort of bullish on the monthly. However, we understand price, understand candles, that this candle could actually close bearish if it comes back down and taps previous support. Okay, now weekly, then the weekly struggled to break above 2072, and the weekly should be coming down to 2003. Now remember yesterday's stream, it looks no different. So we've just consolidated really yesterday. If you think about on the higher time frames, these are weekly candles. Now we've got two what is it? Thursday. 2 days left of this week. We've got 2 days left of this week. Now I would think you would have a top wick, but if we don't get a top wick today with news, because news will probably make a flip, then if Friday is going to create that top wick, it's probably then going to close bullish, because you're in the last quarter of the candle. For this to then flip to the upside and then flip back down to the downside, it's probably more unlikely. That's probably going to close bullish, which is not what we want really. Okay, news is going to be a big shift today, so this is either going to power down today or flip and power up. So news is going to give it direction what's going on with us today, but without news we should be coming down to 2003 levels this week. Okay, now the daily I broke the lows again. So remember I said we've got a nest play on the daily. Where were we at? So yesterday when we were trading this candle, let me zoom in for you. When we were trading this candle here, we were up here, weren't we? Now remember I said we've got a nest play on the daily. The daily had broke out, and then this daily had struggled to break back into the range. Therefore this daily can come up and test the previous wick. Remember we had buys coming up to this level, 2040. Look what it done. Exactly what I said it was going to do, where you can get a trend line on it. Okay, and it's the same with the other one as well. And then it's flipped down and flipped bearish, which is lovely, because now it's given us some sort of direction. So, and then the next candle's flipped and obviously flipped bearish. So this whole move here was a perfect nest play really. Okay, but the only thing what threw us off is the daily had already created a bottom wick and then flipped to the upside. So where should the daily be coming now then? Well, we've got to look at previous data. When you get a close below here, where does price normally go? Well, we come to at least 2019 levels, at least. We still haven't tapped it with this candle. We've only tapped it once with this one, but we haven't tapped it with these ones. So what am I thinking this candle's going to do then today? It's probably going to flip to the downside, isn't it? That's what we're thinking, because that's what we see. Yes, we could get a fake out and get a close back in, but until we get that, we have to act upon what we see and take away thinking on what might happen. Let's go off what we see. So therefore this daily's done a top wick with no bottom wick, so we could be looking for sells on this wing back off the daily now, yeah, or we could just wait for the daily to flip. But we should be coming down to 2019. So this is going to be our target, 2019 today. Okay. Okay, how can we look to get in then if we're only looking at sells? The 4 hours pushed flipped. The 4 hour is closed respecting this level here. Closed respecting. The 4 hours flipping to the downside now. The hours closed. We just need a hour close back in really, or 30 minutes. 30 minutes should do it, to be fair. What time are we on? If we get a 30-minute close below 2033, get a top wick, we'll just get a sell stop underneath. Or maybe not that, but maybe if we can get a 30-minute close below this. 30-minute close below this, you should be coming down to at least 2026. I want to see if we can get a top wick though. I don't know if we're going to get a top wick, because so the 4 hour has got 2 hours left. So the first 2 hours of the 4 hour were these ones. So we had a bullish, and then we know the 4 hours closed respecting. Then we had a bullish one, then we had a bearish one. So now technically, if this 4 hour is going to flip to the downside, the first hour should close bearish, and then the next hour will be the driving hour, the one what drives. So if we know this hour is going to close bearish, how far down is this hour going to close? Are we going to get a close like this? And then we could look for a top wick at maybe 2033. Or do we need that hour close like that? I want to try and catch a 30 minutes because we could drive straight through, but even if we drive straight through, you're going to come back up and tap 2031 anyway. The 30 minute, because you've got no top wick on this 30, you've got no top wick on this 15, sorry, on this 30. So is price going to come back up to create top wicks? I want to see if we play this right, we could catch some more flyers today, and that would be nice, wouldn't it? So if we can get what do I want to see? I want to see a 15 close below 2033. And then I want to see a top wick. Where do I want that top wick at? I want that top wick. I ideally want it to break the highs. This is the thing. I would like it to break the highs again, but I don't know if it's gonna. The best thing to do here is wait for the hour. To be honest, if we were here for that forward close respected, you would be looking at top wicks around these levels anyway. So you probably, if we were on a bit earlier, we probably could have been in off this forward because it came up, create a grab. So you want this forward to close doji or bearish. But the only thing that's going to help that do that is the hour. I think the best thing to do here, guys, is wait for an hour close, then wait for a pullback and get a sell stop underneath, because that would rule out the hour flipping back up to the upside. Good morning, Suraj. I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly. So if we get an hour close below 2033, where does price go? So there's only a few. When I say with this method, you don't actually need any indicators. You don't need any indicators. However, these are a few I use just to just because I'm a bit lazy, really, literally because I'm a bit lazy. And so once you get when you join Relentless, so you get chemistry strength indicator, which is this. Okay. Trending structure, and what the trending structure does, it identifies all the zones for you. So it really helps you with zones. So if you struggle, okay, this is a bit messy here, flick the trending structure on, and the support and resistance lines will just pop up, and that'll create the zones. It'll also give you like trend lines, and that obviously there's none here at the minute. You also get the OB indicator, so it identifies all OBs and fair value gaps. Market sessions, which is like in New York, London, stuff like that. The Dean indicator, that's exclusive. You sort of, it's a very, very powerful tool, but I can't show you on here because you've got to sign NDAs and that for it. And plus Vic will shout at me. So that's sort of what you get. So when I keep flicking this on, I just want you to understand it's an indicator. Yeah, and it just highlights the support and resistance for me if I'm sort of struggling to find the ranges. So what do we want to see? We need that bearish hour close. What I would like to see is a bearish hour close, and then the new hour create a top wick, break the highs, and then pop down. Now, if we can identify where it would go to when we break the highs, we can maybe get a wick entry, but because we broke the lows here. Got no bottom wick on this. We broke the lows of this. I'm just trying to work out whether we're going to push up further on the 4 hour, because this 4 hour, yes, it closed respecting this support here, from the top, down, tap, back up, tap, down, back up, tap. Are we going to bomb down, or are we going to bomb up? What would tell us the 4 hour would be the one, really. I think we've got to wait for, I think we need the hour close, guys. I think it'll be as simple as hour close let me just see. I'm trying to look for a wing back. Trying to see if we can get in on a wing back, just to give us a better advantage. But it's hard to take a wing back sell because the 4 hour is bullish, and the 4 hour does two things here. So this is what I've got. It's like 50-50 what it does. So I'm looking at this because all of this move is sort of copying all of this move, and then we're at this point here. So this is this point. So what did this point do? Well, it then bombed down. Or what else is pretty similar is this. Oh, this is also similar. And then if you look at this, broke the lows here but didn't break these lows, and then what did it do? It then bombed up. So does that mean we're going to bomb up? We're either going to come up. It's very unique, because at this point you can either power down or power up, and it's probably going to be literally probably the next hour what's going to tell you. So it's all going to be on the next hour, I would think. Or will it? Maybe the next 2 hours, which is the 4 hour. Because I suppose you could still get a fake out to the downside, because this is only a range 1. So trying to avoid fake outs, guys. If you've got an hour close like this, you could easily get an hour close back up like that, and then this whole move would be a fake out. The fake outs tends to happen when it's going against the trend and it breaks into the next zone, the first zone. That's then when you normally get a fake out. When it goes into the second zone, you tend to carry on driving at that point. It's pick direction. So that's why we've got to have a pullback with this next hour, but it could just drive. I would prefer a wing back, but I just don't know. I don't know where we're going to get that wing back from, because the 4 hours already flipped now. So if the hour closes bearish, it means the next hour is probably going to drive, and the 4 hour is going to close bearish, like heavily bearish. And again, this one didn't, and you got to pull back. I don't think we need much of a pullback for the 4 hour. I mean, if anything, because if we do flick the trend structure on, there's the hour, there's the next hour zone, so we technically, I would want to wing back from around here somewhere, but I don't know whether we're going to come back up to tap this. I think if anything, if this hour closes like this, the new hour will probably come up just to create a top wick for this hour, because it's not much of a top wick here, and then it'll flip. But my thinking to that is, if we take a wing back sell from here, Let's mark this up. It hasn't fully filled the range yet. Yes, there is areas here, but what we could get is we could get 1 hour candle close like that. I suppose they do come back to support, don't they? No, they do come back. So this is the thing, you've got to have the advantage point. It's got to be enough for you to get out if you're wrong. So if this hour does close above support, the new candle, you know it's got to pull back anyway, but will it pull back enough to get you out at break even? Well, looking left, it probably will, because if we get this, this will be able to get us out. I do believe you're going to have to break some lows, so yeah, we could probably take this as a wing back sell. But you need to understand that you can go into drawdown, because look left, price can come all the way up to 2036. Right, now what we might do as well, we might have this as like a second entry, because if price does, but we've got to get that hour close first. The hour, that's very, very key. The hour's got to close, and then pull back. We look for an entry around 2034, and if price does want to power on, we'll take another entry at 2036. Even if the hour closes like that, the new hour can't just drive. It's going to have to pull back previous support, which looking left comes and taps 2034, actually taps further down, and then we could take the profit from here to here, and we'll just close this out at break even, and that would be like the trade basically. So that's a good advantage point. So that's what we've got going on, but it's vital we get the hour close. I'm just trying to think, are you actually going to come back and tap? Because these ones did. Would that be a better entry? Right, mate? Ready for school? No. Right, let's look left then, see what happens when the hours come up and struggle. Well, was it the 4 hour? Yeah, it was this, wasn't it? Back up, and then the hour, you didn't get much of a pullback. But we sort of don't want this 4 hour to drive. We don't want this hour to drive either, because the further it drives, the less likely the next hour is going to pull back to tag us in. We sort of need this hour to maybe close. I can see it closing something like this, and then if we look what the new hour did, came back. Tap 2033, that's where we'd have it there, 2033, and then flipped. So that'd still play out, I suppose. Now the safest thing to do here, because this is just a range 1 break back into the range, is when you get that top wick, simple sell stop underneath, and then if price does want to carry on, you're not tagged in, okay, because there is a chance where price can actually push further. Because why do you think price can actually push past all of this? Oh, wrong one. Price can actually push past these if it wants to. Why? Well, because this had broke the lows here, didn't break these ones. So then if it didn't break these ones, you've got to say, okay, is this enough liquidity to get past? It might be enough to get past this one. It might be just enough to get past this one as well, but to drive all the way up to 2063 levels, probably not. You're probably going to have to break 2019 if you want to push up there. But looking at the daily and the 4 hourly, we should be coming down really, because you remember with the daily, remember we never forget the top down. The daily should start flipping. Because we need to come and fill the range at 2019. Let's just look left though, make sure. Yeah, straight through 2019. Yeah, so it'll just be a case of that hour really, guys. If we can, yeah. And we'd only need to cover the previous daily high really, because we shouldn't be breaking them highs if we want to go down. Who's that? Is that your friend? Is he a Bobby or something? His kids come and knock on the door. It's like a copper. Oi! Because we could get this as well actually. So the hour close, and then we had a bearish close with the hours. So we could get bearish close with the hours, and then bullish closes. That's where you get activated. And then you start coming back down, but you don't come down and carry on. You actually break the highs again. So are we going to get that today? Are we going to get down, back up, break the highs to then come down? And that would make sense if you're into the likes of market maker methods and things like that. Because what have you got there? You've got a double top, haven't you? Go on then. And obviously you look for some price action to come down. Oof. So that's what could happen as well. I'm not saying it's going to drive straight down. The only reason why I'm saying it might drive straight down is because these ranges are pretty clean. Look at that. Straight down. Yeah, straight down. Straight down. So they are quite clean traffic ranges. But it's whether we've got enough liquidity from here to do it. That's what we've got to say. Is this enough liquidity to do it, to push down in this one? We don't know. We will see. I would prefer this is a wing back buy, to be honest with you, 2036. Because if this hour can close bearish, and then the new hour can just pop up, activate, and then flip, and then what you'll get is that'll initiate the move. You remember what I was saying with the 15-minute yesterday? Well, it's the same on higher time frames. That's what you get. So you'll come up, you'll start seeing resistance, you'll start seeing bearish candles print, and then one candle will pop out, pick up all the liquidity, and then flip, and that'll be the initiation to the move to the downside. So that's what I would prefer. But we will see, guys. We will see. I mean, look at the 30. The 30s. If we can get a 30. Good morning, Abby. Good morning, Martin. He's on. Did you catch that second trade yesterday, Martin? Yeah. Did you catch that second trade yesterday? Yeah, it was. Ah, right, no worries, mate. Yeah, it was lovely. Yeah, worked perfectly. It was fantastic. It was like one 15-minute candle, but it didn't take 15 minutes. It was the new candle, popped down, flipped to the upside in one go. It was great. Yeah. Well, that's it. Literally like two weeks to a month of this, and you'll pick it up like that. Honestly, you will. This is the best way to learn, I think. Watching live trading, by far. You can go and do a course, watching the recording videos, but it's 90% emotion trading, and that's the key. You can't put that onto a course. It's got to be live. You know what I mean?
You can't get giddy about what you see.
No.
You've got to see it as it is, isn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we've had a
Sorry,
No, go on. You're alright.
So I used to work in a bank, and one of the first things I walked into, he said, "Oh, you're safe. Like, don't get any quid in there."
Yeah.
You start thinking of what it is as money. You're gonna go, well, just think of it in paper. So start thinking it is.
Yeah.
It is.
We're probably going to get a wick fill, you guys, on this 30. This 30's closed bearish, with a nice big wick to fill. And the 30 still needs to come down, so that tells me that the hour's going to close bearish because the 30's closed bearish. So the hour is going to close bearish. It's just a case of how far down is it going to close, and then when it closes, are we going to get this where we get a pullback and just a simple flip, or are we going to mess about and are we going to get this? That's what we've got to work out. So let's say, for example, we take that wing back sell from 2034 and this hour closes down in 2032 levels, which it likely will do because the 30 is telling us that. If we do get a pullback and we do enter on this wing back, it would still play out depending on where we put our take partial move to break even. So now that we've got a zone, we need to work out, okay, where does price tap every time? So, and it's got to be at least 10 pips at least for it to be worth it for you to take, right? But obviously depending on stops, guys. If you've got 200 pip stops, 10 pips, probably no go. You're probably going to need, 20 pips at least. Do you know what I mean? You've got to sort of think about it. So, I mean, what's that? That's 17 pips. Stops would only need to be above this high because that's the daily. Because if the daily's coming to break the highs, that's a sign of price wanting to push back up. So you're just not interested anymore. So stops are pretty good today, to be honest with you. 70 pips we'll be looking at for stops. So if we can get an hour bearish close to close below 2032, if we don't close below 2032, it means if we close anywhere like this, it means this wing back sell is on 2036 because you've got more chance to reach up to grab to then pull back. But if we do close below 2032, it means this wing back's on at 2034. Does that make sense? Because if we close like this, it means the pullback, it's not going to be huge. It's probably just going to break these little highs and then flip. But for it to pull back that distance is greater than if it only had to pull back from that distance and then flip. Okay, because it's all about the reach. Like Stretch Arm. Remember Stretch Armstrong he used to have as a kid? He used to pull his arms. He can only reach so far, really, even though he can stretch dead far. But he can only reach so far. But it's like that with price.
I love your analogies, Pete.
Yeah. But the thing with it is, if you get too close to your wing back, it means the stretch can be further. So if we closed up here, this wing back might be too close. It means it could push further. Then you need to try to find an area where it can just reach on its extremities, and then it pulls back straight away, so you don't go into drawdown. That's how you get trades where you go into no drawdown. A bit like we did yesterday, because I didn't have any drawdown yesterday. So it's all on this hour. Now this 30 is done a top wick now, so this 30 should push. I just want to see, because if the 30, there's an area here, 2035 for potential wing back, because if the 30s close respecting 2032, I think we could probably take a wing back from 2035, because you do tend to tap that. That'd be a great advantage point. On the next 30, but the only issue you've got there is the 4 hour then is flipping. We have to have a bearish hour close. That's the key. It's got to be a bearish hour close. But we potentially could have a wing back from 2035 as well. Anywhere in this zone, basically, we're looking for sells from. I just want to have a look at previous data. Still do tap 2036. 2036. What is this here? Even if price wants to drive, if you tap 2036, you're gonna have to come back to 2034, even if you want to drive up. That would be the best option, but it's whether it's going to get up there, because the 4 hours flipping and the daily's pulling back. Or has the daily done its pullback now, or is it going to do a greater pullback? This is the thing, because we're like this, aren't we? So our close, pull back, tap 2034 to come back down 2030, and then you get a big push. Stops might have to be above this, guys. Sorry. I know you all dread when I put the stops on. Just to cover this, that's all. But if price wants to push up, it's got to look. See where it taps here. Taps 2036, then it taps 2032, and then it flips to the upside. And I know you come down anyway, but it's gone straight through. Must have been news. Definitely news. Yeah, I have one. And my CPI today. So if you trade New York, just be careful. High impact news. Yeah, look again. Up, tap, pull back, back up, through. Are we looking at this here? Is this us here? We're trying to just match up where we are. Like, what are we copying? Because price copies previous data, but it might not be the same as in copies. As in, let's say for example, previous data shows 3 candles coming down. 100% of the time, price comes through this range. Yeah. Price comes, when we break below here, price comes through here. Let's say 100% of the time it does it, and it's done this loads. But what we might be getting is, we might get just 2 candles what come through. Or, we might not even get that. We might get 1 candle what wicks down and closes like that. And this is where you've got to spot the difference, because you're probably thinking, okay, well I know this area. Where's me drawn? I know this is this. Price comes down, taps 2019. This is the same thing. It came down to tap 2019. What does price do now? Well, price then comes up and actually bombs through the roof. But what might happen here? Price might just bomb through the roof. This is the same as this, because it's done exactly the same. We started here, we started here. Price came down, tapped here. Price came down, tapped here. And then comes up to 2041, then comes up to 2041. So this is the same. These are the patterns I'm looking for in the same time frame. Right, this is the same thing. I hope I've explained that okay for you.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we're trying to find out what happens when price struggles to break above the... Actually, we're not there, are we? We are here. Breaks above these levels. We do actually push further up. This is the zone, really. So are we going to come fill 2035? Probably looks like we're going to come fill 2035. Good morning if you're watching on YouTube. Thanks for joining us, much appreciated. Hope you learned something. Grab some pips. You should have grabbed some pips yesterday. We had a lovely trade yesterday. So are we going to come further up to fill the range at 2035? Because the bodies haven't technically filled it yet. This is why if we need that pullback either way, really. See here. I want to see a close below this really on the hour, but I know it doesn't have to. But if we get a close below that and we work out what price does from previous data, when we get a close below 2032, what does the hour do? Because the next range on the hour is at 2026 here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark these purple. So we know, no, not because that's the, I want to mark these pink, purple, pinky purple. Okay, so we're going to look at previous data and go, okay, every time we get an hour close below here, what does price do? And we'll mark it up. So we get an hour close there, price comes down and pushes through. We get an hour close there. Yes, it filled 50% of the range, so you probably wouldn't take it, but still, what does it do? Well, price comes down, fills the range. Even when price comes up, tests, it then still flies back down. So we can add that straight through. This one didn't quite make it, so this is interesting. When it doesn't quite make it, here like this, but does eventually, what you can do if you don't want to wait for this pullback, bring your zone a bit closer and go okay. Because you're trying to find a zone where 100% of the time you come straight through. And then you can even count this because it comes back down straight through. So 100% of the time so far. And how many times we've been through? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, again, didn't quite make it. So can we pull this a bit closer? We tap. So we're now still 100%. Straight, we out and then back through. Out, back through. This one didn't make it. This one did. We'll count this, but these don't make it. So what does that mean then at that point? That means if you start getting loads of these, then you've got to wait up and go, okay, maybe it's not that zone. Maybe we need to bring this further down and go, okay, we need this clearing. And then 100% of the time you come through. Do you know what I mean? But what you can do with this is, where do these come to? Where do these come to? Well, they come to, I'm going to mark this up. This would be our take partial move to break even. Okay. They come to there. So if we don't tap that, it means price needs to tap that even if it wants to push back up. So that would be our take partial move to break even. This would be our target. Straight through. Straight through. Back up. See where it comes back up? Taps. And then comes back down. So you get me gist, yeah? Every time we can literally, this is a clean traffic range. So out of all these times you push through on the hour to 2027, but 2 times you only push 2031, okay, or 2030. So that means then if you get an hour close below there and you don't tap 2030, it means 100% of the time you're going to tap 2030 before it decides what price wants to do, go up or go down. So then if you get an hour close below, can we just take partial move to break even at 2030, as long as it's 10, 20 pips depending on stops? 100% of the time I know I've got to take partial move to break even here, but my target's going to be down here, because 95% of the time you come and tap 2027. Literally what I've just shown you there, that is all I do. That is all I do. And then when you start getting more experience, you start understanding that all you're waiting for now is a break below, because you know, oh, I've lost my bloody line, haven't I? Where was that at? It must have been about here. Okay. So when you get a break below here like that, and you don't tap 2020, we'll just say 2029, I'll find it again. We now know, we also know how candles move. We know that if price wants to push down, which way should this candle open? It should open up first. And then once we get that pullback, sell stop underneath, for the flip, activate, take partial move to break even. Even if it wants to flip back up and fake out, you still took partial and you're risk free. But you know the majority of the time you come down to 2027. So you're more likely that this is just going to activate and fly down to 2027, because that's what price is showing us. And that is all I do. That's all I do. But when you start getting more advanced, you'll start to do some wing backs. And this is where I know how candles move. I know we've had a break to the low, and instead of getting a buy stop underneath here, I know that this price is going to pull back. But I can also identify, okay, where does price pull back to? Well, it tends to tap 2034 before flipping. Okay, I'll take a sell from there for the flip. And that's how, what you'll find is if you watch my streams back, the way I trade, a lot of my trades, I have no drawdown, because I've identified where price pulled back. The daily the other day was perfect. I said the daily was going to tap a certain zone. You wouldn't have had any drawdown whatsoever. But also what I like about wingbacks more than stops is you've always got a chance to get out, because if price does want to fake out back into the zone, price still has to come and break the lows in order to drive. So at that point you're in drawdown, here, but then the new candle's got to come down to break the lows anyway in order to drive. So you always get a chance to get out with wingbacks. I've just explained my full strategy in 5 minutes. What we like to...
That's it. Thanks very much, Pete. So, that 5 minutes was all I needed?
It's all we needed. And get in the habit of doing these boxes, because that's how I started, really. I was doing these boxes. Yeah, get in the habit of doing the boxes, and what you'll find is over time you won't need the boxes, you'll just be able to see it. I need to find this zone again, because when we get an hour close below here, they all come through bar 2. It was here, wasn't it? Here. Now they do tap, to be fair. They do tap 2029, but it was 2030. I don't know if that's enough though, because stops would have to be above here. $15 pips for... It's okay. It's not the greatest, but you should be coming through that range anyway. But I would prefer this wingback, guys. This would suit me more. But if we get an hour close below here, even better, because the new hour then should pull back, break the highs as in this previous candle, and then flip to come down to fill the range. Basically, just exactly what these have done. You've got an hour close. This one pulled back. Yeah, it didn't actually break any highs though, but still it pulled back, and then it flipped. So that's what I'm after, really. And then with this, take partial move to break even. would be this area at I mean, if this is on, I'd rather just take past. There's 20 pips at that point. That's 20 pips. Stops would be 80. That would be much preferred. We've got 10 minutes left. This looks like it's going to be on this, guys. We've got a wing back here, but if price does push, I will be interested in a second entry from 2036. Okay, so price does push. Stand by for another entry at 2036. And this is where it's a bit, you've got to make sure your risks on point. You can't over leverage on the first trade. Yeah, if a trade is in drawdown and your heart's going, you're over risking. You need to lower your risk. Right, you've got to be nice and comfortable. I don't trade GJ, mate. I used to trade GJ. But I only trade gold, really. I look at other pairs, but the only time I look at other pairs is when I use the Dean indicator. That's it. I trust the Dean on everything. But I'm just not into flipping between pairs, really. That's the thing, you don't want to be flipping between pairs. Unless you've got something like the Dean, because you want to create that relationship with that pair. You want to create that relationship with that pair, and you want to learn how they move and things like that. I used to trade GJ until what told me to stop. My logbook, very, very key. So your logbook's not there so you can show off. Yeah, the logbook's for you. You don't show anybody your logbook. It's for me. It's on that logbook. What I realised is most of my losses were on GJ. For some reason, they were on GJ, and they were nice setups as well. I was still losing. So I just got rid of GJ. And my win percentage rate obviously shot through the roof. I also noticed that when I started becoming consistently profitable was my second or third trade. I'd never really lost my first touchwood. Never really lost my first trade. It was always my second or third. Yeah, so that's why I'm more cautious on my second or third trade. But my first one, I'm all over it. That's because your first decision you make in trading is always the purest, clearest decision. Anything after that gets diluted slightly. Yeah, because obviously you're really thinking about it. And over time, your brain just gets tired. So it just gets diluted. So your first trade will always be the clearest, as long as obviously you're trading correctly, that is. 7 minutes for a close. But can we get back to 2035? I just want to have a look on lower time frame, because we've got a 30-minute close here, and then the new 30 comes up and taps. But are we just going to come and tap this at 2033? This is where you've got to question and go, do I bring this closer? But you're not bringing it closer to get activated. You're bringing it close. You've got to question yourself, because if price pushes up, where will price pull back? That'll decide where this wing back's got to be. And what we realised is, if the 30 does close even above 2035, you should still come back to tap. So you can still get out even if price wants to push up. Okay, but as long as this needs to calm its tits, really. Calm your tits. Calm your tits. Chill. It's a nice closure though. But the more pushes, then the more you've got to think, okay, are we going to be pulling back to this and not this? But it would be a sort of, it might be a case of on my call, really, guys. We will see. Because we're going to get a sell stop. If we don't tap 2030 and the hour closes like this, we're getting a sell stop on anyway, in case we don't grab this wing back. But we can't get a sell stop until you push at least 2032, because I want to rule out the 4 hour flipping back to the upside. this is where you can get fake outs. So you got to get your sell stops on at the point of no return. So if you are going to get a fake out and the hour pulls back, where's the point of no return if you're going to get that fake out? Well, let's say it's here, because if price comes back down, it's not going to activate and then flip back up. If price comes back down from this level, it's likely it's going to flip and drive. So that's what you're trying to aim for, but we really don't want this hour to tap 2030 because it doesn't give us that advantage point. So calm down. Calm down. Come on, pull back, baby. Pull back. Let's get this on the signal there. So we would be looking, I'm going to leave this on because this is the hourly should be coming to tap that anyway. So we can potentially take some more partial here because we know the hourly can tap this and then reject. But it'd be better if we don't tap it. If we pull back first, it'd be more chance of us coming down because we know the hourly needs to come and tap it. So it helps with everything really. So we're looking at something like this, guys. So stops would have to be above here. 24. The target would be the daily target, which is 2019, because after that price can do anything. Take partial move to break even would be the 2031.76. TP2 2019 6. Now when price pulls back, we're going to get a sell stop on it anyway if we don't tap 2030. It's pretty difficult getting a sell stop if we tap it with this candle, because we know the hour can reverse for me. We would need a closure below there at that point. I'd much prefer the wing back. What are the difference between this and this? 28 pips. This is nice though. This is nice. 15 closure. Can this 15 come back? This is what we're trying to see here, look. 15 close. Well actually you tapped it there, didn't you? Maybe it doesn't matter. But we want a nice 15-minute close like this, and then it's whether we're going to get that push down first, but we do come back to tap it. Big push. Pop, pop, pop. Oh, no bottom wick. Oh, no bottom wick. Is this 5 going to flip? And drive. When you get two and no bottom wick like this, it could be two things. You've literally run out of liquidity, or this 5's going to flip and drive because pull back first. So then you know this is going to get tapped. It doesn't matter if this gets tapped now actually, because it does it here, taps it here, then still comes back up. Or what will happen is if this 5 closes bullish, the new 5, what will happen is open up, pull down first, create a bottom wick for them both, and then start making its way back up. I would prefer this not getting tapped though, and we pull back, but it's whether we're going to do it. So for sell stops, guys, Sell stops are going to be when we pull back to this. Oh my. If we get a pull back to, see, it's difficult because you've got these ranges here now. I mean, you broke below them, I suppose. I just want to see if you break below this mess here. Break below that. What does price do? Doesn't drive. Pulls back to 2031. Oh no. We've had a lovely hour close there, guys. Can we pull back? Oh, is it going to power down? Oh, we're going to tap. See how it's opened up where it's pushing down first? It means it's going to flip to the upside. But is it going to spend the first half of the hour driving down, filling the range before we can get in? Can't get in at the minute because the 4, we're going to the last hour of the 4 now. The thing we do have to be careful with is if the hour does pull back, that's the 4 hour flipping bullish again. Does that mean we're going to drive on that 4 hour? I think, what's this, 12, 1, 2. That makes it more difficult now. Because if the 4 hour flips back up to the upside, it's probably not going to flip and just flip bullish and then come back down. It's probably going to want to break the highs again to then come back down. Therefore, that the higher wing back would be better. Might be a case of a sell stop and this top wing back. Because I'm just worried about the 4 now, guys. So if you think about it, it's the last hour of the 4. So if the hour does pull back to here, that means the 4 hour is going to look bullish. But if it flips back bullish, is it going to want to flip and drive and create a steeper top wick? Is the 4 going to flip and reach our wing back area to then flip back to the downside? Potentially, but it just gives it that other chance to flip and create a steeper top wick. And if it wants to create a steeper top wick, does that mean then we're going to come and push to 2036 to break the high again, and then we come down? And remember what I said with the market maker? Does that mean we're going to go break the high and then come down? I think that's going to be better. I think if anything, a sell stop. Because you're just going to go into drawdown. Yeah, I don't know whether I like that now. Because the 4 doesn't look right for me. Because the 4's already done its top wick. Where's the 4 close? 4 close bullish. Close respecting. And the new 4 came up and tapped, so the new 4 shouldn't be coming up. We shouldn't really get activated on this 4. I would prefer a sell stop, but we've tapped in minor support area where we've got no advantage now because the hours can just reject for me now. But then again, I suppose even if 4 wants to flip, it's the last hour, it's not going to flip and drive because we haven't broke any lows. We have come back for more liquidity. Is this enough? If anything, if price wants to push up now, if anything, it's just going to break the highs. But then it's got to come back again if it wants to break them highs. So we will get a chance to get out. So this is where it's quite even because I mean we've broke the lows. So we've had a breakout on the 1 hour. We haven't had a forward close. Forward close would be miles better, but we've got another hour to wait. I'm just cautious with this 4. Okay, we're still on at the minute, guys. Probably gonna have to watch it on the lower time frames. We need to see this 15. What do we want to see from this 15? Even the 15 can close back in, and then it can still play out. So we've had a 15 close like this. On the pullback, we broke the lows. 15 messes about here, doesn't it? The 15s tend to just come and tap 2031 and then drive. We haven't tapped the range yet. I think we might come down first, guys. Tap the full range. Yeah, the 15's flipped now to the downside, so it looks like the 15's come straight through first and then you start coming back, but I think the 4 hour is going to be the one, isn't it? We've still got this wing back sell on though, because what would be perfect is if the 4 hour can close bearish like this, then the new 4 hour pulls back, activates, and then flips to the downside. Because at that point, you've now had an hour bearish candle, you've got 4 hour bearish candles, and this would be the initiation. Sorry, this would be the initiation for the daily to start flipping to the down. Because remember, the daily is probably going to flip. I'm just thinking if we can get a pull up, we can potentially get sell stops underneath, because if this hour should be pushing through this range really, but would a sell stop be better than a wing back? If we can tap 2032.12, we'll get a sell stop underneath the low though, so that means the candle's got to flip and got to push. But if we don't get activated in the first 30 minutes, we'll delete, because you're going into the last 30 minutes of the 4 hour, and that means you could pull back on the 4 hour and close doji, or you could, if it's going to flip. So I think, because we haven't broke below this messy, this is a messy area. What are we doing? What are we doing? We sort of need a 15 close respecting. We need a 15 close respecting. Where's the 15 zone? 15 zone's like here, isn't it? These zones are not the best for the 15. So we need a 15 close respecting, and then 115 pops up, closes doji, and then the new 15 is the one that pushes down. That would initiate the hour flipping back to the downside. Because what is this hour? Because remember what I said at the start? This is the first breakout on the hour. So this is where you tend to get your fake outs. Here, tens. What you would want is an hour break below 2030, but we know the range only comes to 2027. So if you get that break into there, you might come and fill the range with one candle, which we know normally does that. So the 15 now. And are we going to come back? Can we copy this? This is what we're trying to copy. This 15 close below, new 15 push down, tap this area, flip to the upside, came up, wicked up, and then flipped bearish, and then came to tap the target 2027. So is that what we're going to do? Up, come down 2027. But the only thing it might not do that is because of the hour, the 4 hour, the last quarter of the 4 hour. That's the only reason. Morning, Gears. How you doing, mate? Good morning, Rizal. Is that right? Yeah, I'm keeping the sell limit at the minute. Yeah, but I do. You've got to understand, if you do decide to keep this sell limit on, right? You could. There is a chance, because it's the last quarter of the 4 hour where the 4 hour is going to flip and drive back to the upside. But if it does, it would be the next 4 hour what would let you get out. But you've got to understand that it means you're going to go into drawdown for quite a few hours, right? So understand, take it all in now, that if you're going to take this trade, there is a chance you might go into drawdown. Yeah, you'll get there, mate. Like I was saying earlier, two weeks to a month of watching these streams, it'll just go in like that. Salamati Tang. I know a bit of Pashtun. Salam alaikum, walaikum salam. Tasa Tugez, Tasa Kumsiaz. I'm not really clued up in Indonesia. Can we get a pop up? Can we get a pop up? That is the key. I would think, even if you want to drive, this is the thing, if we do pop up, this candle can open up with no bottom wick. You're going to have to break the lows again if you want to drive back up, I would think. So it might be a fastball, this, guys, as well, so just stand by, right? I'm going to change this. This is going to be on my call, I think. I need to create one of these. My call, because I want to see how the lower time frames react around that area. 5 closes in and then still pops, so it doesn't really react how I would like it to react. There might be an aggressive move, stops to break even as well, guys. Okay, so be on it. If he's on a phone, I know it's difficult because you've got to input the numbers. So I'd recommend, if you are sort of just starting out learning to trade, I'd recommend a laptop. A laptop with a mouse, with a roller on the mouse, such a great help. This is what my roller does. Zooms in, zooms out, zooms in. Where otherwise you've got to come down the bottom and start clicking loads of buttons. We're close though, guys, we're close. CPI today, 1/2. So the 15's closed. How did that close? So it closed back in, didn't it? Back into the range. It's tough because these ranges are so skew-whiff. Because you could go off these ones here and go, okay, well it didn't close back in. Close respecting. That's not a clear break, is it? Like I say though, guys, we're going to be aggressive with the 5 minutes, right? We'll be watching this on the 5. We did get a nice doji candle on the 5. So if we just get one big pop up. Yeah, the trackpad's a pain in the backside, really. When I use my laptop, my bloody hands ache. Now we could potentially get a sell stop underneath in case this hour flips, but I am just a bit cautious with this zone. But then again, we did break below that zone, didn't we? So when you break below that zone, you still don't drive down, you still get a couple of bullish candles before going. So is there any point getting a sell stop underneath? All these hours absolutely fly through this zone. Join our Discord, Rizal. Hit the link tree button in the descriptions. Join the Discord, and it gets dropped in the public chat. When I'm live streaming, I'm normally on every day, unless I've got things on. But from 8 o'clock UK time. So look, our break below. Then you got a bullish close. Our break below. You don't actually drive sometimes. The thing is, though, you haven't tapped 2027. You've got to tap 2027. But it's when you're going to tap it. Are we going to break the highs before we come back down to tap it? This is the thing. I would prefer this as a entry point, but it's just whether we're going to get up there. It makes sense if you think about it. You're probably going to want to break this high before coming down. Or are we just going to copy this? This is sort of threw it off a bit, really, because it is quite a clean zone, really. You can actually just power through there. See how this 5 closes? Because if these 5s are struggling, this 5 closes bearish. This is good. Hopefully then We get some 5 closes bearish, we'll get 1-5 what pops up. But whether it pops that far, that's the thing, because we know it doesn't have to pop that far. We know sometimes it just pops to 2033. So are you going to pop to 2033 before coming back down? Potentially. Potentially. Oh look, we're flipping here. Are we flipping? It's 15 like. No FOMO here, guys, because this could just drive. This hour could just flip and drive. You've tapped previous support. This is a typical breakout. Broke out, pulled back, tapped previous support. Sell stop underneath to come down to fill the range for the 4. I think if anything, if we get a... Because the last 5 minutes, isn't it? If we get a 30, what's a 30 like? If we get a 15 close below, and then we get a top wick, potentially get a sell stop underneath. Because you're now breaking the lows again at that point. Something like this, but you're probably not going to get a top wick. You're probably likely just going to drive at that point. No FOMO, guys. No FOMO if it goes. No trade to take. Gotta wait. I did say, remember, if price wants to drive up, it's probably got to re-break the lows again to come up, and that's what this would be doing. But yes, I appreciate that could be the initiation of the move to drive down. Or what it might do is it might pull back to create a small range and then break these lows in order to drive up. But we're looking good because we're starting to flip bearish, so which is what we want for this wing back. So you want the candles to flip bearish, and then one candle opens up, pops up. Eight minutes for a 30-minute close. So depending on where this 30-minute close, because if this 30 closes respecting 2031.39, you've technically had an S play. So if you close respecting this, that is an S play. You've had a breakout, 30-minute close respecting. The new 30 could open up, pop, break the highs, and then flip to the downside to come and fill the rest of the range. So it's a good sign for us, really. But even if you do break back up, this wing back's still on. But the further we push down, the less likely it's on. Because remember, Stretch Armstrong, it's only got so much stretch. Ooh. I think I'm due a cup of tea. We're close though, guys. We're close. What are we doing? 15 close. Nice pop. This is the thing with scalping the way I trade. I could literally go from, right, we're looking for a sell, to guys, I'm buying now. Okay, because I'm just looking at price, and if the lower time frames show me that, well, okay, in order to push down, we have to break the highs again. So I could just buy up to that. Do you know what I mean? So you've just got to sort of be on it when you join these streams, really. Yeah, you can set limit orders and things like that. This is in our signals for a limit order, but it's I don't really set limit orders. I normally wait, watch price. But it's up to you guys how you do it. We've had a nice 5 bearish close there. Now the 5 didn't close below support, so you're still in that range until the new 5 in 23 seconds closes. Are we going to get up there? That's the thing now. Was this the pullback to there? Does that mean we're only going to get back to 2032? Because there is an area here where price can pull back to 2032. Oh, the 5's closed back below. Okay. 5's closed back below. Are you pushing down now with the bodies, or are you gonna... $15-minute close in 5 minutes. It's this messy here, look. If I line this up, see this on the 15? Very, very messy. This is an area what's disgusting. Yeah, it's not a nice area. You've got all this. Yeah, you've got, this is where price decides where it's going. So we're banging an area where it's deciding what it's doing. What is it doing? We don't know if it's going to go up. We don't know if it's going to come out the top of this range, or we don't know if it's going to come at the bottom of this range. We just don't know. We've got to wait. We've got to wait. The 15 now. Is the 15 going to break the lows? That would be the 30 as well, wouldn't it? Oof. Is the hour going to flip then? Who's getting FOMO? Who's in this? Someone will have sell stops on this. If this range wasn't here, I would. If this wasn't like this, I would have sell stops on. Sell stops on. Nah, it's it is a clean traffic area, but there is an area where price can't. It's because it's the first range breakout. I'm a bit cautious, and also it's the last hour of the 4, and we're bullish on the 4. That's the only reason. That is it. And if you look at my win rate, I'm pretty picky with my trades I take. Because it's setting up nicely really for sell stops underneath, but it's just, I don't like the 4 until this 4-hour close is bearish. Because what happens with the last quarter of each hour, that's when you get your pullback. So if you think about it, this 4 opened up, pushed up first, and then it's flipped to the downside. You've now got 30 minutes left of this 4 hour. So that's when you tend to get your wick formed, which it's doing now. So therefore, let's say the 4 is going to close like this. Right? What's the new 4 going to do? We're now bearish, which is miles better because we've got some more direction. However, we know how candles work because that's what we teach. This candle then should pull back first. Pull back first. Can break the highs if it wants to, but should come and test the previous wick. So it can come all the way up to 2035 levels if it wants, and then flips to the downside to come and fill the range. Yes, we know it's heading down that way because it's back into that range, but we know we're going to get a pullback, so why don't we just wait for the pullback instead of going into drawdown and waiting for it to flip? Might as well just wait for the pullback and then get in. And that's all it is. That's all we're waiting for, really. So we've got 30 minutes for a forward close, but what I am making you aware of is, look at these hour candles. They can come straight through. There's 30 minutes left of this. So if this is going to come straight through, it's going to happen on this 30-minute candle. Right? And the way this is closed is telling us that potentially this could just bomb it through. But we'll see. We'll see. We will see. That's why I was cautious taking the wing back sell from here, because I know the new 4 hour, this 4 hour, if it did flip and we activate on this 4 hour, that means this 4 hour is closing bullish. So what does that mean? It means the new 4 hour is then going to pull down and then flip to the upside to come up, which would take us into drawdown. So I was cautious, but it hasn't happened in this 4 hour, which is great, because it now means that we're more chance that this 4 hour will pull back, get activated, and then flip to the downside. But if you did have sell stops on now, you'd probably get activated. And this is why I didn't want to put sell stops on, because it's unlike, when I say yes, this could drive through it, it can, but also it's a last quarter 4 hour. So that's where it would start pulling back. So it might not drive. The 4 could just close like this. And then obviously you're going to go into drawdown, because the 4 is going to want to give a top wick into drawdown, and then you're just sitting through drawdown. You might as well just wait. So you've got 28 minutes really. We can't do anything really, guys, until the 4 hour. The 4 hour has to close bearish, and it has to close below 2031. Okay, which it looks like it's probably gonna. Does it have to close below? It would be better if it closes below 2031. Yes, it would, but it doesn't have to, because look, you closed respecting, you still came to tap 2027. So it's just a case of a forward close, and then we'll identify where the pullback's going to be off the 4 hours, and then we'll sort of jump on it from there. Okay, so you've got 27 minutes, guys. I'm going to go and make a cup of tea. So go and get yourself a brew. We can't do anything at the moment. No FOMO though if it starts driving, because I go make a cup of tea, guys. I'm back in a sec. we looking? Yep, we haven't moved, have we? We haven't moved. We have not moved. Look at me crows in the picture there. Ah, right. What's the 15 done? Look. So we've actually came down to tap 2030 now. What are we going to do? It's because the 4 hour closing. Get rid of this now. Look at the 4 hour now. Ooh. We really want the 4 hour close below. It would just make it a lot. I just want to see if this is, make sure this is a proper 4 hour support. Because the 4 hours tend to come up to 2036. So if this closes bearish, that means the next one's just going to power up. Look. We really need that forward close. Because if the forward doesn't close below, it means a new forward. This could just be an S play. You break above. There's a minor support around here. Yeah, look. You've got a minor support around here. The forward's broke in. You get an S play. The new forward then should power. This might not be on this if the way this forward's closing. If excuse me, if it closes like that. So we've got to just see really. Wait for this forward close. We don't want this forward flipping. That's the thing. Because what's the hour doing? What's the hour gonna do? Because the hour zone is there for me. So if the hour breaks back into the range, then look what we would have had. Well, what have we got? We've got a fake out. That would be a fake out at that point. What's going to tell us if it's a fake out? Lower time frames, struggling to break the highs. 40 seconds for a 15-minute closure. Where's that 15 closed? Anyone know what this pattern is? This one here. Drop it in the chat if you know. 4 candles, similar size. No? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's a Newcastle top. Whee! It's what we call a Newcastle top. There you go, black and white. No, it's called a cow. It's called a cow. Yeah, corn of wood. So it's a sign that price wants to push back up. That was struggling. So the 15 didn't break above, which is a good sign. Didn't break above, but when you're getting a cow like this, it means you can sort of drive up. Okay, I don't want us to get activated until this hour's closed. I really want this hour to close below the 4 hour. Close below. So what we're going to do, we're going to do these again. Take all this off. Okay, so when we get a 4-hour close, where do we want the forward close? Let's use the trend structure. Now comes out apart from it's a big range, that's why. We just need to come back down. So where do we want? These ranges are not the best for the 4 hours. It's quite messy. It's quite a prominent area here, but then it goes straight through here. This is the thing. It's like a minor support at 31 where we are. And then all the others just go straight through them areas. It's like it's creating a new range. Look, all the 4s up and down, up and down, up and down. What is this? See what this is. See how this lines up with that. Doesn't quite line up, does it? Maybe like that. Look, straight through. So it's really hard to find the ranges here. You normally come straight through it, but we're not doing that. So again, you don't fit nicely. So I'd really need a forward close below that, or you could argue to say that the forward doesn't need to close below there, or this is an S play. If it's an S play, price will want to push up. It means the forward can actually drive now, can actually push and break the highs. But if it's below, then you would get a pullback, tap, flip to fill the range. But it's difficult taking this wing back because we don't know if this is closed below. We really wanted a clear break. I wanted a clear break below, probably below 2031. That's what I really wanted. We've still got 11 minutes, man. It can still do it. But at the moment, this wing back's not on at the minute. It's not on at the minute. Nothing's on at the minute, okay? Yeah, we can't do that. The hour's closing back and it looks like. Yeah, I can't take buys because the previous candle's still bearish. So forget the moving candle. Yeah, the hourly is in this range. Therefore, where should the hourly be coming? If you forget the moving candle, the hourly should be coming down here. So you're bearish on the hour, and you're bearish on the 4 hour. It looks like the 4 hour is going to close bearish, but so you're now bearish on both higher time frames. So taking buys back up, yes, I know we're going to get a pullback. And you potentially could, but how far back up are we going to go? This is the key. What's really hard to work out because this 4 hour is a tricky one. It's in a disgusting area where we don't know what's broke below and we don't know what's broke above because all the ranges are out. It's not clean. If I highlight this area, really try and focus on how many 4 hours stop and turn in that areas. Look, stop, turn, wicks to the area, stops, pulls back, stops, drops. It's just a decision. This is a decision making area. But yes, sometimes you can power through. Sometimes you can just really power through. So we're either going to power through with the next one, or we're gonna make a decision from here. That's what's hard. Nine minutes left for close. Close? I always say close, don't I? Love a bit of close. Come on, 4. Push down. I mean, the 15, we do have a bit of hope. The 15 technically didn't break above, but when you get cows like this, they don't have to on the last candle, really. It can close respecting and still bomb. You got a bit of a cow here. I mean, you slightly did break below and then look, no pullback, and then you went. This 4 now. What are you doing? Don't like this 4 now, guys. This is not on at the minute, guys. Not on. Okay. Move. Still gonna mark it up though. Potential. If anything, these ones are on, but only because we've still had a bearish forward close. Because look, we're just getting a fake out. Remember we said about fake out? If the fake out's going to happen, it's going to happen on this. And look what's happening. It's doing exactly what we said. Oh, bear me lip that. So the hour closes back up like that. That means we're probably then gonna come down, break the lows, and start pushing back up to create the highs. So we might be getting that double top to come down. Because I do think we're coming down. Why do I still think we're looking at sells? Because of the daily. So look, the daily, we're hovering in a range. This is hovering at the minute. The daily range is 2019. So we're hovering. This didn't even tap it. So this daily should flip some point today. But is it going to happen in London session, or is it going to happen in New York session? Are we going to be bullish for London, bearish for New York? That's what we've got to work out. But if we get a 4-hour close like this, I'm probably confident we've had a nest play on the 4-hour to come back up. Then, so we would have had a 4-hour nest play. We would have had a 1-hour fake out. So at this point we could actually look for wing back buys back up, because we know we should be coming to 2036 level. So can we not just buy up? Now you can buy up until we get some sort of closing respecting. Ooh, 4 minutes, what we doing here? But this 4 could still break below, guys. Still close below. Because we still haven't tapped 2027 yet. Four minutes, guys. If you're watching on YouTube and you've learned something, drop us a like, subscribe to the channel, be much appreciated. New channel. We've been going a while though, the company itself, but we're just trying to sort of grow this channel for the time being. If you like what you see and you want to jump into our Discord, the Linktree button is in the descriptions. You can jump in, loads of information in there to help you out. Are we going to close above or below? Above or below? Drop it in the chat. Are we going to close above or below on the 4? Good morning, Forex Profit Way. Forex Profit Way. Some crazy names on YouTube, isn't there? Oh, look at this 4 now. Look at this 4, because that means... Ooh, we're pulling back down. A forward close below would be perfect, because the wing back, I'd probably prefer a wing back from 2036 though, because when you get a forward close below here, we need to look at what price does. So forward close below, you only pull back to 2033, which we were originally, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. It was this one. 2033, which is previous support. But when you get a close below, you can actually come and tap 2036. Close below, pull back 2036. Didn't quite close below. They're really not the best ranges these though, guys. Like, where we're at the minute, it's just not now. So, are we looking at this? Close below, we don't pull back that much. Close below again, we don't pull back that much. If we can get a close below and we get a top wick, can't we just sell stop? Are you going to have to break the lows in order to come down? Potentially. So if we do get a close below, that would probably be the best option. I want to see if you close respecting what happens with the hour. The hour is struggling. The hour is struggling. So when we get an hour close below here and then we get a nest play, that's what we've got to try and find. What happens? Nest play still come back up at that point. Look, fake out. There, look. Are we getting this? Close below. Remember I said about this zone? This is what I was cautious of selling. This. Are we just going to get this? Nest play, new hour, pushes down, breaks the lows, flips to the upside and come back up. If the hour opens up and comes down first, we potentially can get a buy stop above it. Because at that point, you're probably going to confirm, if you flip, you're going to have to break the highs again to drive down. Because why is it not driving on this hour then? Why is this hour not drove? 5 seconds, that's nice, that. That's nice, nice. Can we pop up and break the lows here? Let's need to see more data. Because this done it as well. Did we break below that? We did, okay. So if we can pop up 15 close respecting, we can pop up, break the highs. Do you know what? This is going to drive down. If we just get a steeper top weight, we'll just get a sell stop underneath this now. Because you're going to have to break the lows again if you want to drive up. Because this is the 4. The 4 broke the low and closed bearish, which is perfect for us. So now Is this wing back on now then? I need to have a look, see what the wing backs do. We want to drive up, but it's got to come up without breaking the laws. Might get a wick for later. See, we're still close respecting on the 30. Can't do anything at the minute, guys. Can't do anything. I mean, if this 30 is going to flip, is it going to flip to come and break the highs? I just don't want to get activated if this is a nest play, because this is a nest play. But is this enough to drive down? Do we need to come and break the highs one more time before coming down? And if we do, can we just take a buy stop above now that we're pushing down? Because this is, if this is enough, this will just drive now through. If we get a 15 close below, I don't think 5 will do it for us. Can't take a 5. It'd have to be the 15. Do you understand now why we didn't get a sell stop off this hour? Because look what this hour's done. The last hour of the 4 hour just closed bullish. That's why we didn't take a sell. See, when the hours break back below, there's not much data showing us that we get a nest play under there. Now we did break below this mess, and then the nest play technically broke back in. So if you rule out that as a zone, we're back in this range technically, so therefore we could come back up. Are we just getting this here? Are we just getting this? Is this going to flip to the upside? This is tricky. You've got to be alert here, guys, like ready for my command, right? Because it might be a fast one. As soon as I see price does what I want it to do. So let's think of it logically. We're bearish on the 4 now. We're bullish on the 1. But we don't know if this is closed nest or we don't know if this is closed back into the range. This is the difficult thing about it. Is just this? Do we need to break the highs now that come down? This is not enough liquidity. So is this wing back on? Or is it this one? See, when price comes down from up from down here, that comes from me, doesn't it? Wants to come up. If anything, these will be on 1935. If we get a 15 close below, we'll probably just look to get a sell stop on. Come down. At the moment, can't do anything at the minute, guys. This 4's really, well actually the 4 broke below, didn't it now, so that's good. But is this 4 going to give us a top wick? And if it does, is it going to want to break the high? And if it wants to break the high, how high does it want to go? Does it want to tap the next support? Or are we just going to break the high and then flip? Or are we getting something like this where we're going to bomb back down? If the 4 can flip up and tap the body of the 4 hour 2033, we'll get a sell stop underneath the 4, because if the 4 then flips from that height, you're going to be breaking the highs on lower time frames. If it does flip, it's likely it's going to come straight through to 2027. So we could probably just take that, really. But I need a steeper top wick. Steeper top wick. Look, 3 hours close respecting. There's loads of contradictions here, guys, between each different time frame. So it's very difficult at the minute. And when it's difficult, what do? You just wait. You wait for more candles. We wait for more candles. You're in a sell. Good luck with that, mate. Good luck. I hope it plays out for you. I hope it plays. Is this how we're going to flip? Well, I'm going to see my daughter's potential new respite place. The thing about Wales, beautiful place to live, but there's not much help in regards to sort of I've got a disabled daughter who used to get respite, loads of respite, but there's nothing North Wales. So hopefully she'll have some respite, where she can go there and chill out for the day. Hopefully it's a nice place. Yeah, CPI today, mate. So just be careful if you're trading. 1:30 it is today, UK time. That'll push price. Where it's going to push, I don't know. But looking at price, the daily should flip to the downside. That's all I'm looking at. Now technically, you could just get a sell stop underneath the dailies. 50 pips. Target will be down in 2001. 2001 would be the target for the daily. But we're in a minging area, guys. We're in a decision area where price reverses from or bombs through. So it's just when you're in areas like this, now what you can do. New York would be a lot better. Like it'll probably set up for us. At the minute we just can't. We can't force it. You can't force trades. That's where people get caught out. They either force it, or they're just not on it for the day. They over leveraging, panicking. And all mindset, basically. All mindset. Why you go wrong in trading. Because your strategy, learning a strategy, if you think about it, is easy. It's easy. Learning the strategy. But that's not what makes you consistently profitable, the strategy. Anybody can go, okay, is A there, tick, B there, tick, C there, tick. If everything lines up, there's your strategy. But now it's your mindset. It's your mindset. Are you in too early? Are you in too late? Or have you missed the entry and now it's FOMO, so you enter too late? Yeah, is this your second trade? You lost your first one, now this is revenge trading. You know, it's things like that. What sort of get caught out? This is struggling to break the lows again. Look at the 15. So when we're doing this loads and we're struggling to break this low, it means this wasn't enough liquidity to drive through. I mean, there's still 4 minutes left of this 15-minute candle. So what does that mean then? It means then it probably needs to break the highs before coming through. And if that's the case, is this wing back on? Not many of the 4 hours come back to this level. This is the thing. When you close like this is the closest thing to it really here. They all come back to 2036. That's why I'd prefer 2036. It's even further, to be fair. It's like 2038. So are we going to pull back to 2038? Do you know what? 2038. Even if you want to power up, you've got to come back down to 25. That would probably work. That 2038. Take partial move to break even 2035. Tap back down on the 4. Tap back down. Tap back down. Tap back down. This one didn't do it, but you would have got out. You need stops up here though. Above that, you would have got out at break even at that point. Tap. Oh, do you know what? This is quite a nice. Oh, that would have caught you. Look at that. Must be news that though. Oh, must have been news. Look at that. 2 o'clock would have been news that. So whether we're going to get that far. So whether we're going to get that high up before coming back down. If that's the case, that means the 4. It's whether the 4 is going to push down first. That's the thing. Is it going to push down first, or is it going to push up first? Yeah, that's a setup, that man. I do like this, guys. This is a nice setup. Every time, even if price wants to push up, yeah, it won't just push up like that. It's got to break out of this area. As it breaks out, it's going to have to retest, even if it wants to drive. But this area, it's either an area where you retest, come down to retest to drive, or for the pullback, or you carry on and then you back down. So this is quite a strong wing back area. This would be a better area. The issue I've got with this at the minute, right, is the 4, yes, closed bearish, right, closed bearish, but we don't know if the hour has closed back into the range or nest play, because there's an area over here, this one here. So it means the new hour is going to power up. That's what it means. So it's like, are we going to power up, or are we going to power down? This is the thing. I mean, we're not driving at the minute, so I'm just, are we going to flip? As the 15th, oh, the 15th closed. So the 15th closed bearish. Didn't break the lows. So it means we're going to have to wait for another 15. So if we can get the 30-minute close respecting 2031, we can potentially look for a bottom wick and then a flip to the upside. That'll probably show that we need to come back up. We just can't break the lows without more liquidity. So we're going to have to break at least 2032. Oh wait there, couldn't the 15 just do that now? It's just this 15, because the 15 hasn't closed anything yet. As soon as we see the 15 close and respecting he's a pop down here. I can't take a wing back on this at the minute. What about this 5? What's this 5 flips? The 5's back in the range now. Is the 5 going to have to come and break the highs? Broke out this minor. These 5s are going to flip, look. What are you playing at? 15. We need a 15-minute doji or a bullish close and then bottom wick. Buy stop back up. Because look, the 30s. Is the 30 going to drive? Now the 30 didn't close above this. So a 30 close above would be nice. We're close for a trade, guys. We can't force it. We just can't force it. We've got to wait for that entry. Yeah, this will only be on if price shows me. So the only way this wing back will be on, a few times where the 4 hours come up and tap this area and then flip. But what I need to see price closing bearish here and breaking the lows, and then one candle needs to power up to then flip. That's the only way I'd be looking at taking this. It's just not on at the minute. Not at the minute. Just because the hours just sort of put me off a bit. This hour, this is what's put me off. This. Because look, if this is what we're getting, and this is, to be honest, this is the closest thing to what we're seeing. If this is what we're going to get, that means we're going to get 1 hour what powers straight through, close bullish. The next hour doesn't even come back to break even. Yes, it plays out in the end, as in it comes back down, but it means you're going to be 2 hours in drawdown. You might as well just take an entry from up in these levels. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. The 30 minutes is the next close. If the 30 close below, we get a top wick, we'll get a sell stop on. But we've got to get a top wick on it. Let's see if we get 15 break below this, what happens to price. So if we get a 15 close below this, what happens? So 15 you push down to 2028. 15 you push down to 2028. Let's mark this up. 15 close, you push down to 2028. Back up, test back to 2028. Close, 2028, power through. 15 close, top wick. 2028, through. Okay, so the 15s are pretty promising. If we get a close below 2030, at the minute, 100% of the time, you push to 2028 at least. Ooh, this one you don't. This one you don't. Fake out straight back in. So this is what I'm saying, you'd need a top wick. You'd need a top wick, tapping previous support, and then sell stop underneath. If you wait for a top wick on this, you probably wouldn't have gone in on this anyway, because it's filled 50% of the... It's 18 pips. But that 15-minute range looks pretty good. but you'd need you need a pullback, so you wouldn't have been activated. Yeah, but still you do eventually come down. So when the 15s close below there, you do come down to 2028. So that's a sign of, if the 15 close below, good sign that we're pushing down first before we come up. But see where we're struggling to break the lows here. It now means that we need to push back up in order to grab liquidity to come down to break these lows. But before we do that, are we going to get a pop down and then a flip? And if we get that pop down and a flip, where are we going to go to? Say again, Martin. Morning, Dan. You all right? Dan. Dan, can you hear us?
Yes, mate.
You all right, mate? How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Are you?
Yeah, good. Have you caught anything this morning?
No, I've not even really started yet. But it's my first day off since I opened that live account.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
So you're on it.
I tried doing it at work the other day. You know, I had the day to myself.
Yeah.
But I just had too many interruptions to be able to do it, buddy.
Yeah. I know what you mean, mate.
You know, maybe in a few months when I'm, you know, a bit more sort of okay with it, it'll be all right. But while I'm doing this, while I'm doing this one that I've paid for, I want to have it, you know, full concentration.
Exactly that, mate. Well, we're close to a trade anyway. We're close. Remember, this guy's is not, this wing back is not on at the minute. Okay, it's not on. So look at the hours flip now to the upside. So are we just going to power through? Are we going to power through? Are we going to get this? Are we going to get this? Are we going to power through with 1 hour? And if we do, we should be coming to tap 2035.
I have marked my graphs up as well.
6 minutes left for a 30-minute close. 15 close. So if the 15 breaks above this and we get a decent bottom wick, guys, we can probably get either a buy stop or a wing back buy from 2030 to come back up. Right? Because if the 15 closes like this, and then the new 15 comes down, we could probably look that you're probably going to have to break the highs if you want to come back down anyway. So as long as this 15 doesn't drive, there's still 2 5-minute candles left. This 15. Oh, look at this now. Ooh. It's nice 15-minute bearish. Are we going to pop up here? 30-minute. Let's see what this 30 looks like over here with the hour. It was this, wasn't it? So our closes bullish. Sorry, 30 closes bullish, then a bearish one, and then one 30-minute candle just absolutely powers through. That's why when these wingbacks are not on at the minute, because we can just power through. There's just no point. There's no point. What time on here? 10:30. Bloody hell. Getting a bit later. Is this a fake out to the upside? This is the thing. This is the thing. No, we haven't broken any lows here. But if you don't break the high on this 15, we have a chance. If the new 15 opens up and pulls down first, we can get a buy stop on. Because you're gonna have to break the highs anyway, I would think, if you want to drive down, because there's no point pushing, because these haven't broke below. Why? Because we need to break this high. So if this 15 doesn't break the high and the new 15 pulls back first, it might be a case of just entering on the pullback, because you're gonna have to, even if it closes bearish, you're still going to have to come up to break the highs to get past this level anyway. Like that. You're going to have to break this high to get past, so just stand by, guys. As long as we don't break the highs on this 15. Stops would only need to be below here as well. Come on, calm down, chill. Where do we want this 15 to close? 15's got to close above this. Okay. Just thinking these 15s. That's it. The 15s can just power through. Can we not just take a wing back from 2035? 2035 play out better. 2035. Let's get rid of this wing back. This is not good. This would more be a tape partial. Pull back. Left. How is this 15 going to close? We've not broke the highs, which is nice. It's teasing us today, guys, isn't it? It's teasing us today. What's the 30? It's just the 30. This is a 30 closure, so at least the 30 is closing bullish, but it's gonna close respecting. So it's like if it closes respecting, which it looks like it's gonna. 15 is not gonna break the highs. Dan,
Yeah.
are you gonna say something?
No.
All right.
No, we're just watching it.
Will you just check your mic, mate? Because when you put it on, I can hear you telly in the background. We're streaming on
Sorry,
YouTube, you
mate.
see. It's alright, mate. Obviously, you'll mute yourself if you want to chat and that.
Yeah. Mute.
Alright, okay, so we've got a 15 close here, guys, right? So, what's going on? Got a 30 close above. Nice. If we get a pull back, it's got to pull back first, though. Okay, stand by, stops. Let's see, we don't need much of a pullback either if we can get in around here. That's the thing with stops, I mean stops need to be below. Yeah. You can either go buy stop. I just want to watch these fives, right? Okay, so stand by. We're close. We're close. If we can break the low one more time, might be a case of just getting in. Oh, come on. Come on, baby. Don't drive. Please don't drive. Please don't drive. Don't drive. Please don't drive. It's driving. It is driving. Come on, nice little pullback. Basically, we're just going to mark it execute as it pulls back. But we don't want to break in the highs. It needs to pull back first. Alright, now how far back do we need to come? We can actually come as far as here. So once you get a 30 close or 15 close above, we can actually pull back to 2031. That should give us a good advantage point, but as long as we don't break the highs. So could we not just take a wing back buy from there? Potentially could. But that's as long as we don't drive, guys. We can't drive. Oh, come on. Chill, chill, chill. Chill, baby. Yeah, the 5 close nest player there. That's why this 5's probably going to initiate the move. We didn't break that lows again, did we? This is probably power up now. You do get one candle what powers up. Have we broke the highs? Because if we break the highs, that means it's got a chance to now flip to the downside and push down. Whereas if we pull back on this first, we were just going to mark it execute anywhere around here. And then what would happen is, because price would have to break the highs in order to come down. So even if it closed bearish like this, it means the next candle's still got to come and break the highs of this in order to drive down. So you still be in profit at that point anyway. And now obviously you take partial move to break even or go to risk free at least. But we've pushed up now and we've broke the highs above. So now that means this, as it broke the highs, not quite, but it just means that it can now flip to the downside and come down. So this is not on at the minute, guys, now, but we are very close for the trade. If we can get, if price can show me that we are pushing up on a 5 minute, but if we get a 5 minute close above, or if this 5 closes respecting again and doesn't break below, we could potentially get out with this wing back, potentially could be on, because you've still got two 5 minute candles left for this 15. We didn't actually break the highs there, did we? So if this 5 can just close like this, what this is what you call a double nest play. 5 broke out, next one struggled to break back below, and then you've had another candle struggle to break back below but hasn't drove, so this is a double nest play. So what that means is the next 5 should open up, break the lows and then push. So if that's the case, could we just get a wing back from 2031 with the new 5? So we've got a nice 5 close there, but we'd have to go risk free at it's only 5 pips. We'd have to it'd be aggressive on the stops. This is the 15. We still haven't broke the highs, which is a good thing. So it's whether this 30 can pull back. just don't like this 4 because the 4 is actually broke below, didn't it? So the 4 technically should flip. But I do believe the 4's got to come back up to pick liquidity up in order to drive. Because we are at sellers at the minute. See how we flip from sellers to buys? Not broke the high, so is this going to start flipping? Oh, I'm a bit cautious on this, guys. He broke back above. So I would think you're going to have to come back up to 2033. You've got to tap 2033 or at least 2032. You've brought the highs again here, as in not broke out of this minor range. Are you gonna pop down? You're gonna have to be aggressive here, guys, if we get in, as in with stops. Okay. What would be the get out? The get out would be if the 15 closes below. This could just drive here. I sort of want it to drive, really. If this 15 had closed respecting, yeah, and then we popped up, this wing back buy potentially could be back on. But because you broke into this range, technically you should be filling the range, and the next range is up in 2035, so that's why we're trying to catch the move up. But we need a pull. We didn't get much of a pullback. Now if you did get stops above here, you know, you'd be activated now. You would have had some nice profit here. He's a push here, look. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Maybe the next 15. Because if the 15 close like this, it's pretty confident you're going to come up to tap 2033. You've still got 2 candles left of this 15. It's likely this 15 will power through. Broke the highs. I need to do my song list. I need another song saying, please don't go. Please don't go. "21 minutes left off." Because remember, the 4 can flip at any point, remember. Yeah. 4 can flip at any point. To the downside. How far up we're going to come. Three-hour pullback. 3-hour tends to tap. 2033. 2 hours. 2033. Why 2034 not a wing back? The reason being because a 4 hour as it's broke into the lower range, but looking at previous data, the 4 hour on the pullback can tap 2034, basically this level, but the majority of them actually come all the way through to tap 2035, if not 2038. So you might as well take a wing back on them ranges instead. Yeah, thanks for your feedback, James, mate. Much appreciated. I mean, this will probably still work out, this wing back here, but I like to. This is what you're ruling out. This big pump, because you can draw it. I mean, it still plays out if you think about it, but you might as well wait until you tap 2035 and try and get an entry from there. That's the only reason. But yes, the 4 hour can flip at any point. Now technically we could just get a sell stop underneath the 4 hour now to come down, because you know what, we might just do that. Because you haven't tapped 2027 yet, and they all tap 2027, all of them. So why can't we just do that? Yeah, look, if you look at this, Rizal, is it? Rizal? 4 was closed roughly around here. Then the new 4 pulls back all the way to 2038. That's why we've got this wing back sell on here. But then flips to the downside and comes through to tap 2027. So could we not just get a sell stop on the 4 hour and only take this as a wing back? Are we looking too much into it here? Because it's not 100% clear here. We're trying to get the buy up, that's the only thing. But at the minute, the 30 minute and the 15th broke out, but we didn't get a pullback to get in. Do you know what? Let's get rid of this. I think that's what I'm going to do, guys. Because where's the 4 hour flip? The 4 hour flip is, let me just mark this up. What does this look like? We wouldn't really put it on that. If anything, it'd be below the hour. But you might as well go, oh yeah, that's the 4. So if the 4 does flip back down to this area, if you think about it, right? If the 4 flips back down to here, it's not just going to flip, activate, and flip back up, is it? If it's coming down for a reason, what's the reason? It's coming down to create a steeper bottom wick. If not, pass this wick. So, if we could do something like sell stop below the 4. This is quite a simple trade, really. Sell stop below the 4. Oh, that's not enough pips, is it? Oh, it is. 30 pips. So, 30 pips take partial. I'll go risk free. Because it's testing the previous wick, but probably look to push past. But the target would be down in 2027. So that's probably the most simplest thing to do. And then it's if this does flip to the downside. Now 2, 3, 4. What would we need for the 30? Look what's happening there, you guys. This 30 here, it's tapped these levels. So the 30 is going to come back down. Interesting. Or you could just wait for a 15 close below, I suppose. 28 pips. You could just wait for a 15 close below, back below here. At that point, that would initiate the move. We know that. We know all the 15s. When the 15 closes below, you power through. So you could just wait for that. You've had a 15 fake out. Look at this here. Okay, so 15-minute fake out now, right? If the 30 can close back into this range below, this wing back sell is back on. Okay, and worst case, if price powers down and doesn't come back up here, then you just take the 15 close below anyway. So we're close. We're close to a trade. 15 close. Why did that close? Because this could just be a fake out back into the zone to fake back in above. Yeah, so you've just got to. This is what I'm saying. I would prefer 30-minute close back below. Do you know what? I just thought that we could have bloody bought that up. On the stops on this flip as well would only need to be 54. So that's too close. That's not enough. That for me. You just go risk free and let the rest. Well, you just probably wouldn't even take part. Just go risk free now, on a lower time frame. Yeah, that's what I'd probably look at really. But you might as well wait for a 5 close back below. But look at the 5s. The 5s can power through. That's the thing with these. Look, you can just miss the move by a 1 5-minute candle. So if you just get a sell stop off the 4-hour and take partial move to break even at 2028. Sorry, you'd move to break even on this because you'd be a bit more aggressive in case you get a fake out to the downside. But yeah, take partial would be 2028. What's a 30 doing now? Okay. No, so wing back buys is a buy, but what we mean by wing back is let's say the hourly is pulling back, and then it's going to flip to the upside. So we'd buy, but we'd basically buy when price is hugely dropping. So for example, if we had an hour close like this and we broke out of the range, we know we're going to come and fill the range at 2031. Okay. Let's say we've come from down here. Okay. We're heading up, we've broke out. We then know we're going to come and fill 2035. Instead of as this candle opens up, it should pull back first, and then we look to buy, ready for this to flip to the upside, and we would have got in on the wick basically. I just call them win backs because the sort of theme is beds, because my second name's Crow, so that's why I call them wing backs. The daily I do, because if we look at the daily now, the daily's you're still down in this range on the daily. So is the daily going to flip? 130 news. Is this forward going to flip to the downside and create a steeper bottom wick? That is the question. I would prefer this 4 to come and tap 2033 and then flip. That's what I would prefer. Be better. It's going to be interesting to see how this hour closes really, because if this hour closes respecting this area, It's a fair sign of the 4 hour potentially wanting to flip to the downside. So that's going to do that. So if this hour closes respecting 2032, we could potentially get this wing back sell back on, because you've had 2 hours now to drive back up, so that's telling us that you haven't got enough liquidity here to drive. So if it means you're going to have to break the lows, but what you might get, if this hour pops up and opens up first and pops up with no bottom wick, you're not going to pop too far. You're probably only going to pop to there to then flip to the downside. It's going to be very interesting how this hour closes. These this sell stop's not on yet, guys, right? It's not on yet. Just because this hour could still close bullish, and then the new hour could come down, break the lows, and then still flip. Okay, so just hang fire. We're close for a trade. We're close for a trade. We're getting there. We're getting there. Five minutes for the close. You're going to get yourself a cup of tea. Do what you need to do.
Hey, just a quick one for you while we're waiting.
Yeah.
You know when you've matched your chart up and you've got your lines,
Yeah.
horizontal lines.
Yeah.
On your screen, it looks like there's a lot more width between the candles and the lines than there are on mine. It's like there's only sort of like millimeters.
Are you on about the trend and structure indicator?
No, so you know where you've marked your chart up with your lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in between each line, it looks like there's a lot more gap than there is between mine. It's really hard to read a man because of I've marked it up pretty similar to yours.
What broker
But,
you got? What broker you using?
Oanda.
Oh yeah. Okay. What time frame are you on?
Well, at the moment I'm on a 1 hour, but literally like the lines are only sort of like not even a centimetre apart.
That's strange. Just use the candles. So if you go on the 1 hour time frame, identify this big pushing candle. Put a line at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then look left. See this area here? Identify this area. Put a line at the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then do the same with the other lines. So for example, with this blue line, look left. You've got an area here. Identify this area.
Yeah.
Where it
Yeah,
wicks.
but what I'm saying is your candles look a lot bigger to mine.
They should all be this. What it is, you've probably squeezed the chart. What you can do on the right hand side is stretch it. Okay, that's probably what it is. Yours might look, I don't know. You might be looking like that.
Yeah.
So on the right hand side, yeah, where price is going up and down, left click and hold.
Yeah.
And stretch price. Okay, because you think I can stretch it like that, and look how big these candles look now. Yeah.
Got it.
It worked.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
Two minutes, guys, for a close. 2 minutes for a close. What is this hour gonna do? What is the hour gonna do? Oh, look at the hour, you little bugger. Last bit there. Okay, if we can get a bottom wick. What's the 4 doing now? So you've now had an hour break. 30 minute. 15. Okay, if we can get a bottom wick, guys, down to 2031. Probably get a buy stop on. So stand by. we haven't came to tap. I mean, you broke the highs. That's the thing what puts me off. I just want to confirm that this hour range is an hour range. We all come and tap. We tend to tap. Because remember, the forward can flip at any point, really. Don't like these ranges. These ranges are just not nice for me. Because you've got a range there. Look, we've got body of the candles. Body of the candles. You've got wicks to that area. So then did the hour break out? Because if that is the hour range, it technically didn't break out. Does that mean then the wing back's on? Look. Even if you did break above, can you not still sell down from 2033? Can't take that card, I'm sorry. Can't take it. Can't take that. It could easily flip and tap 2033, but these ranges are so... It's not clear. When it's not clear, you've just got to wait. I want to see what the next 15 does. Let's see what the next 15 does. If the 15 closes below here, we get a top wick, we can look to come back down. If the 15 flips and closes in and we don't tap 2033, potentially. So again, it's just messing about with us at the minute. No, 15's flip. And this could easily drive up to 2033. Is this going to flip and drive if it is? Because the 15's closing respecting this. So we're still struggling. Now, what's a 5 to 5 close respecting? Very tricky. It's probably no trade for me, guys, I'll be honest with you. It's... If anything, the 4 hour flip to the downside for me, but you might not even get that flip. This 4 could close bullish. Now the 4 hour is in the range below, right? So if you think about it, look at this. 4 was closed there. This 4 was closed there. The next 4 closed bullish, and then you came through. So it might be a case of having to wait for this 4 to close to get the actual move. So there's just nothing on for me at the minute. I'm not willing to take anything. No. I mean, we didn't even get a bearish close. I can't take this wing back. So this is what I've got going on at the minute. Okay, potential sell stop below the 4 for the forward to flip, or This is the only thing I've got on, and I'm actually going to set this up to wing back from 2038. Take partial move to break even 2035. Because even if price wants to push up, it's going to have to pull back to retest the lows anyway to come up. Now, the way you get out of this is if the 4 hour... So if the 4 hour breaks above this. If the 4 hour breaks above this, that's your sign to get out. But still, the new 4 hour should come back, tap previous support, and still flip to the upside anyway. So I'm going to set this up. This will get put in the signal. Stops would only need to be... What are the stops here? 60. I'll probably go above these wicks here. But you've got to be careful. You can't have this set up for CPI when CPI is on, right? Because news just messes everything up. And you've only got... It's whether you're going to get up there. You've got to get up there within this next couple of hours, really. So... That's what I've got set up. But if we're getting close to CPI, I'll be deleting. And the target again is back down here, 2019. So it'll be a nice range if you can catch it. Yeah. Or sell stop underneath the 4 hour, but at the minute, guys, there's nothing going on because this 4 hour can do anything. It can close bullish. It looks like it's going to be closing bullish because the hour time frame has, we don't know if it's broke above. If it has, then it's definitely going to close bullish. We don't know what's going to be going on with it. Any questions then, guys, before I go? Because there's just no point at the minute. If for the members, if anything does line up, I'll be dropping it in the trade IDs. People watching YouTube, if you want to get access to the trade IDs, go into the link tree. Everything's in there. Again, jump into our free Discord as well. But other than that, fortunately, guys, there's nothing going on for me. So I'm going to call it a morning. I'll be back on, what day are we on today? Thursday. I'll be back on tomorrow. Same time. And I'm sure what's good is we had a fantastic trade yesterday where we caught, what was it, 63 pips. So that was lovely. But unfortunately, we're unable to catch anything this morning for me. Alright. Right, guys, have a fantastic day. I'll see you all tomorrow morning.
See you tomorrow.
See you later, guys.
Hey, are you still there?